Do we need to do that? I mean, y'all showed up, so I'm assuming you're thinking we do. What do you think? Yes. I see a hand raised.
Um, so we can get the people engaged in like the next home that they're wanting to purchase, or so we can actually just seem like we know what we're doing.
Okay, so get the people engaged, to be able to help them and just so
Mm-hmm.
we can sound like we
To
know what we're doing.
seem
That's always important. And sometimes we don't need to know what we're doing. We just need to sound like we know what we're doing until we know what we're doing. Okay.
right.
Sometimes that's the path we take. Love that. Thank you. What else? For those just joining, the question was, today's class is all about what to say and how to say it, right? Language of sales, language patterns. Why is this class so important? Why is learning words so important?
And
Because, all right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I, we all need to speak a common language. I mean, if we're talking about certain things dealing with sales, we need to know a vocabulary in order to speak the same language. So we're not like, "Hey, what's that?" And you're like, "Oh, that's this word I made up for this concept." And they're like, "Oh, we already have a word for that." No, no, no. I like mine better. So we all have a commonality. We can speak to other people involved in the transaction in a common way.
So we have a commonality. I like that you said that, right? We can speak to people in a familiar, common way, right? Um, yeah, yes. So far, everything everybody says so far, yes. Who was speaking before? Was it Janet, Emily? Who was that before?
I can go. Um, so what I really want to know is how to speak confident. Like when you go to like any place and they know what they're talking about, it's like a good sales. Like, you get it. So that's where I want to go is like learn how to be very confident when I go like to an open house or any type of sales. I feel like it's good to know.
Okay, so what do we say to come across confident, right? How do we do that, right? Absolutely. Janet, were you?
Um,
Yes, to ask, really engage and ask the right questions, I think is a big piece of communication, like asking the right questions.
Love that you said that. That's actually what we're going to kick off today with. I actually have slides today. Today's a slide day, that you can absolutely take pictures of. And I will share a cheat sheet for everybody in the chat box, which actually, you know what, let me download that now so y'all have it. Give me just a second. I just realized I didn't click download. Okay. And And the reason why we're kicking off, before I bring up my slides, the reason why we're going to kick it off with exactly what Janet said, asking the right questions. When we ask questions, we're leading a conversation. We're in charge, right? If we're always just spewing information, I'll say it that way, right? One, the other person's just going to tune us out. Two, it's way too much. We're just throwing up on the person. We're just like, bleh, words, right? And we're making it about us, not them. When we ask questions, we're making it about the person or the people we're helping. Now, there's two different types of questions throughout our conversations we have with people, right? They're open-ended questions and close-ended questions. What's the difference?
Closed-ended questions, you give them a choice. Open-ended question, you just say, like, what do you think?
Okay, so I love the way you said it, right? Close-ended questions, you give them a choice. Open-ended, you're getting them to think, right? You're getting them to say something, right? Another way to say that is close-ended, they answer with one word. Do you want to buy a house? No. Okay, thanks. Bye. Right? Do you want to sell a house? No. Okay, thanks. Bye. See how closed this is? Right? We're like backing ourselves into a corner. Now, there are times we ask closed-ended questions, right? For example, will you need financing? Yes. Okay, now that we know, right? That's a close-ended question. The more we can start conversations, so here's the most important piece of this. Ready for this? The more we can start, I'm going to demonstrate this in just a minute. The more we can start a conversation with an open-ended question, get someone talking, the greater chance, the greater results we will have in building a stronger relationship to help people for when they need help. Let me put that in perspective. Again, every single person we talk to has a real estate need at some point in life. Buying, selling, renting, estate sale, this something. Or they know somebody, right? Our job is not to find, no, we love this, but our job is not to find, all right, Janet's not right today, forget Janet. Adana's not right today, forget her. Oh, Taylor's not right today, forget him. That's not our job. Our job is to find out, who is Janet? What are her needs in the future? Does she own a house, not own a house? If she owns a house and she wants to sell, when is it? Is it in a year, 2 years, 5 years? What does that look like? Why does she want to sell? It's to play detective, it's to uncover information. And the only way to do that is to ask open-ended questions. So instead of saying to somebody, hey, Emily, are you interested in buying in this neighborhood? No. Well, now I just back myself in a corner. Instead, open it up, right? So I'm going to ask a question more like, hey, Emily, first of all, who's all thinking about buying? Is it you? Who else is buying with you? By the way, never assume. Notice how I asked that question? Words have so much power. All of our little words have so much power, but always stay true to who you are, right? So like the way you're going to hear me give examples, typically when I'm talking to my friends, my family, people I'm helping, they're going to come across in a different, I'm going to use the words, but they're going to kind of come across in a different way because it's my tone. So what I want all of you to listen to and really think about as I share the slides and we go through some demonstrations of different words is, how can I take that, use the words, but like what's my voice, right? How do I keep it me? Because always stay genuine to who you are. I am naturally, like, if you actually see me outside of like the walls, right, the office walls, I am naturally a very sarcastic, nonstop laughing person. I will joke nonstop. I will be sarcastic nonstop. All right. I am not a serious person whatsoever. So when I'm working with people, when I'm talking to clients, when I'm out with friends, whoever it is, that's coming out professionally, but that's coming out, right? Okay, so an open-ended question that I'm going to ask Emily instead of, hey, do you want to buy in this neighborhood or do you want to buy in general, is, hey, what has you thinking about buying when you're ready? Right? Or what has you thinking about making a move? Notice how you can't answer yes or no to that. You have to answer that. Also notice I didn't use the word now. I purposefully, a lot of agents say, like, especially, anybody on here host an open house recently? Yay! Open house challenge.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, awesome. So, at an open house, I see a lot of agents who, when people come in, they'll say things like, oh my God, welcome. I'm so-and-so. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Right? And they're like, oh, are you looking, things like, are you looking in this area? Okay, they're at the open house. Of course, they're looking in that area. Yes. Yes, I am. They're probably thinking, why? I'm literally at your open house. Yes. Right. But a lot of agents will ask things like, well, what has you looking at houses now? The majority of people, 80% of people who walk into an open house are not looking for another 4 to 6 months. By the way, the fortune's in the follow-up. Okay. So if we use the word now, we're closing the conversation off and they don't want to talk to us anymore because we just scare them. They're not ready now. because they hear the word I call, by the way, people in real estate are the outside world. Okay. So, like my friend works for the government, she's the outside world. If you have friends or family that don't work in real estate, they're the outside world. The outside world knows nothing about what we do. They don't know what agents do. They don't know about buying. They don't know about selling. Even if they bought a house, they don't know. They know squat. So in their head, they just met a stranger. The stranger just said the word now. It sends a signal saying, "Whoa, hey, I'm just no, no, no. Like I'm just like I'm just playing. I'm just swinging in to see things." Right? And they're going to close off and not say anything or not really want to talk to you because we scared them. Okay, so little words matter. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen. As I go through this, ask questions. Come off mute, raise your hand, put in the chat box, ask questions. Because what I don't want to happen is just go through the motions of showing you a few best practices of what to say and how to say it. And you're like, well, that sounds nice. I'm never going to do it, but that sounds nice. I'm never going to do it. I'm going to share a true story with you before I share my screen. When I first started in real estate, I knew nothing about real estate. I was a renter, never bought a house, dual career. I did have 20 plus years of sales experience. So I did think my sales experience would transfer very easily over to real estate and I'd be super successful right away. Well, that didn't happen. It doesn't transfer. I mean, some of it does, but real estate's a whole nother ball of wax. Like I learned that the hard way. So my first few months of just smiling and dialing, talking to people, doing this, doing the activities, right? I was a babbling fool on the phone. I messed up my words. I hung up on more people than they hung up on me. Like I am not exaggerating in any way, okay? I have a friend of mine who was in real estate. We got in the same time and we were literally in a room together making calls together. And if you ask her how I sounded my first month, she would give you this example. Okay. So Janet, I'm going to pretend to call you. Don't worry. You don't have to like play or anything, but I'm going to pretend to call you. So actually, can you come off mute? I am going to do this.
Hello.
Don't worry. It's going to be easy. So this is what it was back in the day. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Ring.
Hello, it's Janet.
Hi. Hi Janet. My name's Alana. I'm a real estate agent. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Oh, that great, great. Well, so I'm calling because I see that you had a house. Yeah, you have a house and it's on the market. Do you still want to sell it?
No.
Okay, well, you have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was me
hmm
for many months till I learned what I'm about to show you. Someone taught me this, then trained me on teaching it. Um, And I practiced this 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week with random people. I picked real estate agents. I had my friend who's in the government practice with me. I had my daughter who was in middle school practice with me. I just found anybody under the sun. I'd be out at margaritas with a friend of mine, like, oh my God, pretend to be a buyer. She'd be like, oh my God, again. Yes, I need to practice. 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 30 days. Now I didn't stop after 30 days, for 30 days. And I went from sounding like that and setting no appointments whatsoever and not building my pipeline at all and wondering why did I even get into real estate and updating my resume and thinking maybe I want to get out. I don't know if we all got that. Okay. All right. So I'm sharing this to share. This is real. To then sounding like this. Taylor, can I borrow you to practice with me? Can you be a potential seller?
There you go.
All right, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Taylor?
Yeah, who's calling?
Hi, Taylor. My name's Alana. I'm a local real estate agent with Keller Williams Capital Properties. Thank you so much for taking my call. I see that your home was on the market back in the day. By the way, I called expires. I see that your home was back in the market or on the market back in the day, and I was just curious. When you do plan to sell in the future, where are you moving to?
Well, we were going to move to South Carolina, but yeah, I don't know if the market was entirely right to sell the house. We didn't get much attraction.
Okay. Well, that's definitely something, I can shed some light on for you. But you said South Carolina. What part of South Carolina?
I really like the out near the islands, out near Charleston.
Oh my God, I've heard that's amazing. I have not been. Okay, let me stop it there. Thank you for playing. Um, what y'all notice in the two differences? By the way, both were me. One was beginner me. The other was I practice a whole lot me.
The other one had confidence.
Yes, had confidence. Now, I never sold a house, right? When I started that, I never, I didn't actually have confidence. I just sounded like I had confidence. What else?
You got him
Ever-
talking, which allowed for him to like open up and share more. So it just seemed like you guys were building a relationship versus like a stranger calling and just like taking you through a random interview.
Yes, exactly, right? You're building a relationship, right? So like Jan said best in the very beginning, right? Ask questions to get to know someone. I don't care. Like we have to stop thinking about today. Don't worry, you will find the person who's all of a sudden like, oh my God, I really need to move in like the next 3 months. By the way, 3 months is now. Like 3 months, let's go. Um, but we need to stop thinking about the end result. We need to stop thinking about the closing. We need to stop thinking about today, instant gratification. We need to start thinking about who can I get to know? Who can I find out, what their future needs are to be able to build this great pipeline of people I can help throughout time. Right? That's the focus. In that, you'll find the people ready. Right? But now we're focused on the person. Right? By the way, notice I also did not go into sales mode when Taylor said, yeah, but I don't think, based on the market, I don't think it was the right thing. What a lot of agents do is take that, make it about themselves, and run with it, which would have sounded something like, oh, well, let's talk about pricing, let's talk about the market, let's talk about this, let's talk about that. Da, 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 da. I haven't earned the right of any of that yet. I don't even know him. I don't know what part of South Carolina, like who's all moving is just him. Does he have like 20 dogs? I don't know. So notice how I took what he said and was like, okay, well, I'll share some information on that. But in the meantime, you mentioned South Carolina. Like, focus on them. You will always win. Okay. Let me share my screen now. So here's the thing. Here's the basic timeline of a lead, right? We meet a person. So like some of you did open houses. You met people at open houses, right? So we meet a person. We find out, are they motivated? What's their motivation, right? People move. People think on logic. They act on emotion. Anybody ever go to like you're walking around like the mall or stores, right? And you're like, oh my God, I'm not spending money today. I don't need that purse. I don't need that pair of jeans, da da. And then you're like, ooh, look at those shoes. God, that would go really nice with that outfit. And then we go in and we try them on. And then we're like, oh crap, I like them. They're comfortable. Right? And our emotions take over and we buy them. Our logic is like, I don't want to spend money. Our emotions are like, ooh, new shoes. Then, of course, we buy them, we take them home. And I don't know if you're like me, I'm like, oh, I kind of regret buying these because my logic kicks in again. But now I already have them. So I'm like, well, it'll be too much to take them back. Might as well just keep them. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe it's other people. Right? So, same thing with real estate. People don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to make a move today just because I want to. Right? People think about moving, whether buying or selling. Then they start talking about it to friends and family. Then they start doing research, and then eventually they talk to a real estate agent. It's a whole progression. And at that point in time, now they're motivated. So we need to find out, why are you moving? Wow, moving's a lot of hard work. We'll put that on your radar, right? Or, wow, what has you thinking about making a move? That's my favorite question because it goes for buyers and sellers. Right? And we stay in the motivation conversation and ask questions we listen to respond and ask questions to learn more. Wow, okay, you're selling a house, moving to South Carolina. Now I'm also going to find out what part of South Carolina do they already have an agent? Because if he doesn't have an agent in South Carolina, what am I doing? Somebody say it.
Referral.
Referral.
Exactly. I'm going to help sell his house, and then I'm going to refer him to a great agent in South Carolina. I don't have to know them right away. I just need to let them know, like, Taylor, listen, I have partnerships with agents across the nation. I have great agents in South Carolina, specifically Charleston. Let me connect you with someone amazing, because not all agents are created equal. Right? And I'll be like, oh my God, that'd be great. Thank you. And then I'll, after the call, go and find some agents. Right. And then I'm going to do my work and, figure out who I'll connect them with, like 3 people usually, and then lock in one. So motivation comes first, asking questions come first. Then we have permission to talk money. Again, too many agents go right into the money. Oh my God, you want to buy a house? Have you talked to a lender yet? You don't even know where they want to buy, when they want to buy, what they want to buy. Why are you talking about money? Right? Stop that. So spend about 3 to 5 minutes in that motivation area. Then you can say, hey, let me ask you, do you have to sell in order to buy? Yes. Will you also need financing? Maybe, right? Oh, you're renting, you're looking to buy. Okay. How do you plan to pay for your new home? Will you need financing? I don't like to assume. Maybe they have I don't know, a rich uncle who died and left tons of money. I have no idea, right? So never assume things, right? So then we talk about, are they financially ready? And then finally, we go into a deadline, which I'll talk about in a few slides. Okay, so when we get that new person, that new lead might not be ready for a year when their kids graduate next June from their senior year of high school to move. That new lead might look at the open house today, but might not be ready until January of next year. Right? New lead doesn't mean they're ready today. New lead means let's walk them through, ask questions to move them through the timeline to help them when they're ready. All right, basic order for conversation. Literally just said the exact same thing that the slide says. Motivation first, right? When we have the person's words, it makes it a lot easier to move them forward, right? Because their words are more powerful than our words. Here's what I mean by that. Can I get a volunteer to pretend to be a buyer? Like you're renting a house and you want to buy it for the first time.
I can do it.
Thank you. All right, Adana. All right, so I'll start from the beginning.
You said I'm renting a house?
So you're currently renting, and I met you at an open house. And so you're looking to buy for the first time.
Okay, got it.
And you can make up whatever you want, I'll just flow with it.
Okay.
And when you practice with the people, have fun with it, just make up fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like just makes it more fun, All right. So again, open house. I met you at an open house. Ring. By the way, hold on. Pause for a second. If you met someone at an open house and you are not calling them the same day or within 24 hours max, you are missing out because they are not going to just one open house. They're going to at least 3. And the first agent who reaches them, asks them questions, wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. All right. Ring.
Hey.
Hi, is this Adana?
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
This is Alana, a local real estate agent at Keller Williams Capital Properties. We met on Sunday at 123 Cookie Road at the open house.
Oh, I do remember you. That was such a beautiful house, and I love the snacks that you had at the open house.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I really appreciate you swinging by. Well, I was calling to find out a little bit more about what has you thinking about making a move when you're ready.
I just wanted to come out and see homes. I watch a lot of like HGTV, and I'm just kind of wanting to get out of renting and like just buying something so I can do some really cool projects.
Really cool projects. Okay, I'm kind of interested now. What type of projects?
Like maybe like painting, maybe like adding some molding, things like that. I don't want to like redo floors or anything like that, but just the fun, cute projects.
Okay, and kind of make it your own as far, as opposed to like a rental where you can't do anything with them.
Yeah, that's right.
Totally understand that. Actually, it's funny. When I bought a house years ago, I was a renter for 9 years, and I bought a house because I wanted to paint walls the colors I wanted. So I completely understand that. What else has you thinking about, what else has you excited about the opportunity to own your own home?
So I've also been in my career for a while, and I just think like it would be a great financial move to just own something rather than like just keep putting my money towards rent. So that's also a part of it. I'm planning to stay in this area for a while, so I figured why not?
So instead of building someone else's wealth, you get to build your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that. Love that. By the way, I want to pause here. Notice how I'm just repeating back certain phrases or tapping into things she's saying, right? Or sharing like that actually was a true story about me wanting to buy a house because I want to paint walls.
Yeah.
Funny part is I never painted the walls. If it's not true, don't share it. Don't make stuff up. If you can relate to something, relate. If you can't, don't. Okay, because it won't be genuine. Also, just don't lie.
And
Okay.
you won't remember in the future.
And you won't remember the future, and they'll call you out on it, and you'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never owned dogs. I hate dogs. Be like, oh shoot, you're fired. Now, who's all moving with you? Is it just you or anybody else?
No, so it's currently just me, my dog. Yeah, I don't think I'm planning on having anyone else move with us. I think just me and the dog will be fine. I think, yeah.
Okay. Well, walk me through, paint me a little picture about what's important in this new home that you're looking
Um,
for.
so since I mentioned a dog, a yard or a space for the dog is definitely essential. That will kind of make or break whether, we're able to move into a home. We're also looking to do some projects. So I don't want anything that's like a brand new build. I want something with like a bit of character, but I also don't want it like, you know, where the roof is gonna cave in, on
Mhm.
our first night in, right?
I
Also
totally
looking
get that.
for, yeah, looking for maybe 3 or 4 bedrooms because we want to kind of grow into the space. But it would also be nice now to have like an office and like an area for a gym. In terms of like the kitchen, we definitely we're open to doing projects. But just something that just has a good layout. We entertain a lot, so also, I guess flow is important, semi-important, because I guess we could knock a wall down or two. But just the flow layout, and we also want a lot of like large windows. I don't want to be in like some sort of dark dungeon.
Totally get that. Now, I hear you say the word we. By the way, listening is key. Listening when you talk to people, as opposed to thinking about your next question as a real estate agent, will get you so much further than anything that you ever learn, right? Listening and asking questions are your two golden tickets to winning. Okay. So you mentioned the word we. I know you mentioned it's you and your dog moving.
Yeah.
But is there, is it friends or other people entertaining? Just kind of curious.
Yeah, maybe I'm just thinking about like the future. So like maybe someone I'm dating or so. I
Yeah,
don't want to like if I buy a house, I don't
planning.
have to sell it like anytime soon. So I'm
Mhm.
also taking that into consideration. But primarily focusing on what would suit our needs right now. Like so the dog and I in the next like maybe what 2 years or so. But I don't think it's wise to sell a house in 2 years. So I'm just thinking a little bit further in terms of long term.
I love that. You definitely have done your research. You definitely, by the way, anytime you can give people kudos, give them kudos. Make them feel
Yeah.
good. Okay. All right. First of all, thank you for playing the part of a buyer. Woo, great job.
You're welcome.
So here's the thing. I literally have a post-it note of words. Okay. Because her words are more important. If someone says I want something bigger, don't say the word upsize. If someone says I need to sell my house and get something smaller, don't say the word downsize. They don't use that word, right? She said flow and entertain and the layout and grow into the space, right? She said gym, 3 to 4 bedrooms, an office space, right? These are all these are motivational. Now there's more I would tap into. I would probably take this conversation for another 1.5 to 2 minutes and find out, how many bathrooms, single family versus townhouse, I know location, but like what locate, like where does she kind of want to stay in the area of, right? Don't assume just because she saw 123 Cookie Road, she likes that street. Right. So, building her own wealth, career, financial, all of that, as opposed to, when you rent, you're paying someone else's and building their wealth. So she mentioned yard. So again, all of her words are the most important words you can find, because when we move a person forward to next steps, to talking to the lender, to setting the buyer strategy session, right? Or to the next slide that I'm going to show you in just a second, their words come into play, right? Because let's say that she then throws back, but you know what? I'm just kind of looking right now. I'm not going to do anything till next year spring. Now, just because someone says next year spring doesn't mean next year spring. By the way, over 90% of buyers, this is a nationwide stat, not Alana's making it up stat. Over 90% of buyers, whatever time frame they give you, move in half the time. So if someone says 6 months, they're moving in 3. Well, they're looking in 3. If someone says a year, they're moving in 6. I am living proof of that. When I first got into real estate, I was renting and my lease wasn't up till October. And it was February. I was sitting on the couch playing online because, that's what we do as agents. And I saw these new builds that were just going up. And I'm like, oh, get. I'm also a dork, and all the street names are labeled Harry Potter names. Little fact about me. So I was like, oh my God, I want to go see this model house. So this is February. My lease isn't up to October. I go to see the model home. They have one new set of rows getting built in April. And we had to put a deposit on right then and there. Well, within the next 24 hours. So long story short, I moved in May. Very beginning of May. And broke my lease. Which is plenty of easy ways to do that. So again, almost every buyer cut the time in half. Sellers about 2/3 of the time. Right. So if she came back and said, well, I'm just kind of playing around right now, seeing what's out there, but I'm not looking to do anything till spring. Okay. Before I can go to, here's the next step. Let's assign a deadline. Let's do these things, right? Because she says next spring, I'm actually going to go to objections. Because spring, right? If I'm talking to someone today and I don't even know what today is, August. I'm like, what month are we in? If we're talking to someone today and it's August and they're thinking next spring, there's a reason for it. Now, the reason's going to be either A or B. A is what we call reality, real life. We can't change real life. Oh, I'm looking to sell my house next spring and move because I'm moving for a job. Well, we can't have their job start sooner. Like, we can't change that. I'm looking to sell my house in June when my kid graduates high school. Well, we can't change graduation. We can't be like, well, can't your kid graduate in February and just move sooner? Right? So that's real life. The other option B, which is the majority of time, is they don't know what they don't know. So they think spring for a reason that's not real. It's real to them, but it's not real. So for example, well, let me ask all of you, why would someone maybe say not until next spring? What's like a excuse someone has?
You might think the market's gonna be like hotter. There's gonna be like more homes available for sale, so
Right.
more options. And then you
Mhm.
probably also want to spend the holidays in your home.
Yeah, so maybe holidays in the home, maybe yeah, the market, there's more houses for sale, maybe it's better interest rates, right? They go on these things called Google and AI and blah blah blah, and they look up stuff that isn't really real, right? It's just people's opinions, but they're not educated by a real estate professional, which is all of you. This is where we come in, right? So an objection is literally a lack of knowledge. That's what an objection means. An objection in real estate means a lack of knowing something. I love objections because it means I get to teach someone something, right? Now, the only way getting someone past an objection works is one, if it's truly a lack of knowledge versus real life. Real life, like if she's like, yeah, I'm not looking till the spring, my next question is, okay, just out of curiosity, why the spring? So I'm just being curious. I just want to know, right? Hey, just out of curiosity, why the spring? I'm just like, oh, well, I can't do anything till the spring because I'm moving for my job. Again, we can't change that. I can say, well, where's your job? Things like that to see if there's, if it's local, she can stay local. But if it's real life, we can't change real life. We can't change the time frames. But if she comes back and says, well, I'm looking to the spring because I think there's more homes on the market. That's a lack of knowledge. That's a chance of education, right? So if someone says, I'm waiting till spring because interest rates, or I'm waiting till spring because I think there's more homes on the market, what might they not know? Like, what are things that we could educate them on?
Not the fact that like in Q4 for in general that the homes like they're probably able to get a better deal on a home at that point because if they're sitting on the market at that time frame, the seller's probably motivated. And there's also less activity in terms of other buyers looking for homes. So they'll probably walk away with a better deal, whereas like the interest rate would be wouldn't matter as much. And then I think also I've heard it shared that like in terms of like the interest rates, they're going to stay around the same amount for the next couple of years. So waiting for, spring really wouldn't matter.
Yeah, so it's one, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what the
Yeah.
interest rates, they could be completely worse and put them in a way worse position. Not to mention it has nothing to do with a rate. It has to do with because we date a rate, we marry a house. Because rates change. They can always refinance, right? Not to mention it's not about the rate, it's about what are you comfortable paying per month. So we can look at the right houses. Okay. And then I love what you just said there, and it's trying to think of the way to rephrase this. There's most likely there's less competition, right? If you're looking now versus the spring, if you're looking the fall, especially October, November, December, there's less competition, meaning less chance for multiple offers. So more of a chance, never guarantee anything, never promise anything. Right? More of a chance to get a better deal, more of a chance to not be, in a bidding war. If it's August 25th right now and a person's like, well, God, I really want to, I don't want to have to move through the holidays. Okay, well, let's talk through now it's they don't know how we can work out time frames where, depending on when they start looking, if they don't start looking till November and they don't want to move in the holiday time frame, we can work out something where they don't move until January. Or they start looking now, they're in there before the holidays. Now they have this bigger space, bigger layout, bigger place to entertain for people to come for the holidays. Right? A more beautiful place for the holidays. Right? So here are the 4 steps of uncovering and overcoming an objection. Again, objection is literally just lack of knowledge. Okay, so I need a new volunteer. Who's someone who wants to play the part of a buyer that's going to throw me the objection of let's go with interest rates. That's always a fun one. I need a buyer. Don't get me wrong, I can definitely play two people. It's a little awkward. Anybody be my buyer?
I can be your buyer again.
Oh, awesome. Okay, who just said
Someone
that?
else
Is that
coming up?
Chiquita?
Yeah, I was gonna do it.
You got it, Shakita.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, is this Chiquita?
Okay. Yes, it is.
Okay, so Chiquita, I want to fast forward our conversation. I'm going to pretend like I know
Mhm.
all the motivation and why you're moving and all
Mhm.
that, right? So I'm
Okay.
going to just fill in some blanks. And then I want you to throw out, yeah, but I'm thinking I don't want to do anything till next spring, because of interest rates. So go ahead and
Okay.
throw that at me.
Okay. Um, well, I'm really looking to I'm looking right now, but I really don't think I'm gonna make any moves until next spring. Because the interest rates right now kind of a little wonky, and I want to see what they look like next spring.
Okay. Well, so Chiquita, first of all, so glad you brought that up. Thank you for sharing that. What I'm
No, thank you.
hearing is you do want to get out of renting, you do want to move, but you want to make sure you're staying in that right price point for you that you feel comfortable paying every month. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let me pause there for just a minute. Stay off mute because
Okay.
I'm coming back to you. So number one is we're not agreeing. Notice how I didn't be like, oh my God, I know these rates suck. Don't do that. Then you just lock yourself into a wall and might as well hang up on yourself. Okay.
Mm,
You're just welcoming it in. Wow, I'm so glad you brought that up. Or thanks for sharing that with me.
okay.
And then after that, you're rephrasing. You're basically just repeating their words back. Now, I usually don't like to use the word interest rate if someone uses it because, again, it's not about the rate. So we want to start educating them on the fact that it's about their monthly payment, not rate, right?
Mm,
But we're just repeating back. So, for example, if you use the objection, yeah, I think there's going to be more homes in the market, I'll rephrase it like, oh my God, thanks for letting me know that. So it sounds like you do want to get out of renting, you do want to own your own home, but you think there's going to be more options for you in the spring,
oh,
right? So
okay.
notice how we're just rephrasing it for a person. So number one is let's rephrase it. Number two is digging. Now, here's the thing. If you haven't already captured their words, meaning their motivation, why are they moving? Not the I want 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a garage. That's not motivation, that's logistics.
Mhm.
Right? It's I want 4 bedrooms. I need an office space. I'm working on my kitchen counter. I need a yard because I'm sick of driving 20 minutes to a dog park every day. So I want to bring my dog out back, and I want a big open layout floor plan because I like to entertain. I'm feeling too cramped right now. Notice how those words are more meaningful, right? So if you don't know their words yet, number two is the part where you stop and you go back to asking for the motivation. In this scenario, I'm going to pretend like we already had the conversation, right? All right, ready?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, thank you for sharing that with me. So glad you brought that up. So really what I'm hearing is it's about making sure you're staying within that price point you're comfortable paying every month.
Right.
And you mentioned, I have some words written down for you here. By the way, I say that because I want them to know I'm listening. I'm just gonna pretend like you're the previous person. You and your dog getting into your own place. You're tired of paying someone else's mortgage and building their wealth, right? You want that flow of an entertaining space, a bigger layout. You like to have people over, right? You definitely need that extra room for an office space because you mentioned a bit ago that you're feeling a little cramped and work out of your kitchen, which can't be comfortable in any way, right? Um, did I get all that right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, right? So again, what I'm hearing you say is you truly want to get into this bigger space, be able to put your own stamp on it, right? Not a huge fixer-upper, but that molding, the painting, just something you can put your own you into, right? Make it Chiquita, right?
Right.
And the only thing holding you back, hear this, everybody, the only thing holding you back is just making sure you find the right price point that you're comfortable with for your monthly payment. So you feel good. Is that correct?
Right. Correct.
And making sure that the rate allows for that. Did I get that right? Oh, did I lose you?
Well,
Oh, okay, you're back.
okay. I said, yeah, you're getting it. That's,
Okay,
that's
awesome.
absolutely correct.
So if I could show you a way, right? If I could show you a way that we can get you into your own home where you can put your colors that you want, the molding that you like, the kitchen that you dream of, right? Where you're entertaining and you got the yard for Scruffy, your dog,
Mhm.
right? By the way, I would have asked like dog's name, what kind of dog, all that stuff.
Right.
Would you want to learn more about that?
Yeah, sounds wonderful.
Okay, so let me pause here. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you.
playing along. So here's the
No.
thing. Number 3 and 4 are the sweet spot in this. So number 3 is we're literally just, so what I'm hearing you say is we're filling in a few of their words. Like what are important words that they said? You know, is it commute? Is it office space? Like, is it yard for the dog, right? Entertaining space. What is it that they said? And then we're repeating back what's holding them back. And the only thing holding you back is, you know, thinking that the interest rates, right, or getting yourself into a home that you're comfortable paying with per today's interest rates. So we're just getting these spot checks. Is that correct? Well, they're going to say yes, right? What we're doing with number 3 is we're lining up the yes. Because when people say yes multiple times, they're more likely to say yes. It's a psychology. Then number 4 is the magic. I'm not saying, great, let's move forward and see houses. I'm not even saying, great, let's talk to a lender. Notice how lender never came up. I'm simply saying, well, if I could show you a way to get A, B, and C, to get motivational words, right? Are you open to hearing about that? Do you want to learn more about that? That's all. I'm just seeing how motivated they truly are. Now, she might say, you know what? I have 3 kids. They're going back to school. I really can't think about it right now. Like, I'm not ready just yet. Okay, no worries at all. You know, I'd love to, what I'm going to do is stay in touch with you. I'd also love to create a customizable search just so you start seeing things. Because now we start teasing them, right? Bright MLS, we start sending them some things. By the way, if you don't know how to do that, you can literally go to YouTube and say, how do I create customizable search on Bright MLS? Or customizable like email. But most of the time when you hit 4, they're like, yeah, I'd be open to learning more about that. And then we say, great. The next step is, okay, now in this instance, what do you all think the next step would be, or steps?
To connect them to a lender now.
That is one of them. Yep, absolutely. Because we can't show them houses and do searches and do all that without knowing what their buying power is. Right? What other step could we take here?
Put them on a smart plan.
Oh, I love that you said that. I wasn't even thinking about that. Yes. So we're dripping on them. Yep. What else? We could also schedule a, oh, hold on, someone said in chat box. We could also schedule a buyer strategy session. Right. So what we're doing here is we're taking them to, and I'm going to share some things in the chat box with all of you right now. Thank you, someone, for reminding me. So what it could sound like is something like this. Great. The next step is, so we're just telling them, we're like their GPS. We're just telling them hey, you're taking this exit in 400 feet. Okay. So I'm going to say the next step is 2 parts. One, I'm going to get you connected with one of my local lenders. I work with multiple of them. You can talk to all of them if you want, right? I'll email you all of them, but I want to group text you with one of my local guys, Stuart. Here's the thing. Let me put your mind at ease. So you need to take away the fear because person here's lender. They're like, oh my God, lender, loan, W-2s. taxes. I didn't pay my bill. Like they go down a rabbit hole. Their brain goes into all the negative places. So we have to let them know it's an easy process. So, hey, the next step is connecting with one of my local lenders. I'll connect you with Stuart, but I work with a few. You can talk to all of them. That doesn't mean you're buying a house tomorrow. It doesn't mean that they have to pull your credit right away, right? It just it's a quick conversation just to see what your buying power is to even do the right searches. Right. So notice how it's like, we're not doing this, don't worry. Like, you don't need to be whipping out all your documents today. And I'd love to also schedule a time to sit down, and I would do this at a coffee shop in the area they want to buy, by the way. I'd love to schedule a time to sit down and do what's called a buyer strategy session, really learn more about what you want, what your needs are. I'll open my laptop, we'll kind of play online to save us some gas money and driving to places so we can look at homes before we actually go see them. Right? How does that sound? And you're like, oh my God, that sounds great. Great. Are you free tonight to connect with Stuart? I'm going to do a group text. And then literally after the call, I'm going to group text, hey, Taylor, meet Stuart from CMG Loans. Hey, Stuart, meet Taylor. He's a renter and he's looking to buy his first home in the blah, blah, blah area or surrounding areas with him and his dog. So like say, I'll give like a little tiny snippet. Right? Take it away from here. Right? And then the right lender actually takes it away from there. Right? And then the buyer strategy session, I'm going to set up like in a few days, because what I'm hoping is they talk to the lender. So then when we meet, we can actually look at the right homes online, start scheduling showings and really hone in. All right, let me stop there. So again, we have, to summarize, start your conversations with an open-ended question. Wow, what has you thinking about buying a house? Thank you so much for swinging by the open house this weekend. It was great meeting you. What has you thinking about buying a house? Whenever you're ready. Right? What has you wanting to make a move? Right? Then just listen to be able to just have a conversation for a few minutes. Then if they throw out an objection, that's your chance to educate. Again, objection is lack of knowledge, not reality. It's lack of knowledge. Okay, so well, thank you for sharing that with me. Now, if someone says something, you're like, I don't even know what that means. Like one time someone said, oh, what's the objection? They were like, yeah, I'm not seeing anything out there. I don't even know what that, I mean, I can assume what that means, but you have to ask follow-up questions. Don't be afraid to ask more questions. I think we're so afraid to ask questions, like we're going to scare them away. It's actually the complete opposite. When we don't ask questions, we scare them away. Right? And then you're either, depending on the conversation, it's either going to move forward to a step. By the way, every conversation like this moves to a step. The step is either going to be lender. If it's a person selling a house, the next step is an appointment. Great. I'm looking at my calendar. I'd love to swing by tomorrow night, 5:30 or 6. Which one works best? Right? They're a seller, get in person. Right? Or they truly might not be ready. So the next step might just be, great, I'm gonna create a customizable search. So you can just play and see what's coming on the market. I'm just gonna stay in touch with you to help you when you're ready. But again, notice how everything has a step. All right. I shared the basic flow of a conversation for both buyer and seller in the chat box. So you all have those documents. The key word, notice how in the very beginning of this, I said when I first started, true story, I'm not making this up. When I first started, I didn't have the confidence, didn't know what to say, messed up on almost all my, I would hang up calls and be like, oh my God, really? Seriously? Like that's what I sounded like. Right? And it wasn't until I practiced what I literally just shared in the chat box, 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 30 days. By the way, that led to me setting in the beginning 2 appointments a week, then turned to eight appointments a week, then turned to 10 appointments a week. Now I also banged out the phones a lot. So take that with a grain of salt. But it works. Okay. What'd you guys take from this? And or what questions do you have? Or concerns? I'll take that too.
I love what you said about using their words and really just jotting them down specifically that you can go back to.
Yes. Their words are powerful. Our
Active
words mean
listening.
nothing.
Active
Yeah.
listening is key.
Yes. You know, it's funny. I was going to be like, what'd you say? That just made me
Right.
laugh. Active listening is key.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Listen for things they don't say. Right. Listen for tonality. Right. If someone's like, yeah, I really want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Oh my God, a big kitchen. What do you think's most important? Yeah, the big kitchen, right? So listen for that tonality so you can tap into it. Hey, I heard you had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, but you got excited about big kitchen. Tell me more about that. Like I heard it. What's happening? Like, do you like bake, cook? Like, what's going on? What's happening in the kitchen? I mean,
I like the thing you said about let them know that you're writing down their words and what they're saying. Because I was thinking it'd be like, oh, like, oh, I'm gonna use this super secret, list here, and and you were like, let them know, and that kind of took on a different angle about, hey, I'm listening, and not only that, but I'm taking specific notes. Exactly. I'm not just gonna throw random properties at you. I like that communication.
yeah, and wouldn't that like when you say if someone says that to you, wouldn't you be like, wow, that's really thought like, wow, that makes me feel good, right? By the way, I do the same thing when sitting down with someone at a buyer strategy session or sitting down with someone at the kitchen table at a house they're going to sell. I literally have a piece of paper in front of me with questions that I like to ask, which by the way, I just get from the listing presentation, a buyer presentation from canva.kw.com. There's the link in here. Hold on. There you go. There's literally a page that is questions that I just print out and bring. I kind of reword them to put them in my own tone, but make them my own. But I'll sit there right in front of them. Hey, I'm going to take notes as we're talking. One, to show that I'm very interested in what they're saying. Two, to actively listen, we have to take notes on their words. Three, because I have no memory whatsoever. Like my memory is shot. And if I talk to Taylor today and then Emily tomorrow, I'm gonna be like, who has a dog? What's their dog's name? Who went to oh God, I don't remember. Did they want an office? Was it Taylor that liked to cook? I don't remember that. I will not remember that within 24 hours, especially if you're talking to more than one person. So you have to take the notes to be able to put them in command. So that way, when you call them and follow up, you can have the notes in front of you. And by the way, I don't write like War and Peace novels. I literally have words. Like it says 3-4 BR, meaning bedrooms, office, gym, layout flow, entertain. Like I just have words. Yard for dog. Like these are the words I wrote down. Oh, I wrote down HGTV equals painting and molding. That's what's on my piece of paper. Because again, when I call back again, I might, if they're not ready yet, I'm going to follow up. And one of my follow-ups might be like, hey, I know that we talked and you talked about HGTV and like painting and molding and all those things. You seen any good episodes lately? Like what's been sparking you like your creativity? Like what have you been seeing? What colors do you like? Hey, by the way, have you seen the hottest new colors? Right? I'm not going to remember to talk about that stuff unless I have it written down. So I love that you just said that. All right. Was this helpful? Again,
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Thank you.
much.
words
Yes,
words
very.
have power. What we
Yes, it
say
really
has
have
power,
power.
but always stay genuine to who you are. Okay, you're just putting these into you. All right, I'm going to use the word practice. I can't say it enough. Practice, 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 practice. Find somebody this week. Live with someone, find a friend, doesn't matter who, just practice.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Have a
Nice.
great
Great.
day.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Lana.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.